there they are. Usually only takes a couple seconds. Hello, several people. Wow. I always forget how quickly the questions fade away on, or the comments. Let's see, can I tap on them and see them again? No. Cancel. Get out of there. All right. Hello. Emerald City Mystic, Neil Cummings, Susan. I feel like the old romper room. I need to have a little magnifying glass. Nice, Susan. I see the Emerald City Mystic out there. Hi, y'all. I'm Uncle Birch. And I'm sure you know that because you're on my channel, and I'm pretty sure you wouldn't even know I was doing this right now if you weren't subscribed to my channel. So thank you. Thank you for subscribing to the channel and stuff. Let me check my... I'm not sure my charger's charging, so this thing eats some serious batteries. Well, those of you on my channel already know that Uncle Birch is on this teaching frenzy. After taking about 2 years off from teaching the year-in-a-day courses, in lieu of teaching downloadable courses that people can take whenever they want, I started doing that again. I started that in March 1st. Class is full. So I had to schedule another one for May 1st because there's still people chomping at the bit. That one's full. Now, August 1st, it seems the greater Sabbats of this year's wheel are the times when Birch is having a new class come out. I can't guarantee that I'm going to schedule another one right after the Llamas class, but I have another year-in-a-day course starting August 1st. There's a video about that here on this channel somewhere. And so I took a couple years off. You know, I wasn't spending a whole lot of time talking to new witches, except, you know, all the ones that contact me in the email about all the other places and stuff. And I felt I need to be abreast of what the new kids out there are asking and the bullshit that they're spreading amongst themselves, so I can be prepared for what this generation of witches needs. Because that's how I build my class. My class is everything I think a witch needs in a year and a day. And in this current course, we've even gone further. I'm even teaching shop class, or shop witchcraft, how to set up business, and brewing, some brewing techniques, and other things. So very different than my old year and a day course from like close to 10 years ago now. So we do this little thing to help me and to help you. It's called Ask Uncle Birch. And if you're new to the game, there's only a couple rules. Try not to ask me a question when I'm answering a question. Try not to be too long-winded. They pop up in a little balloon, and on the YouTube live, they fade. They're there for a couple seconds that I can see them, and I tried fucking with them. I'm not sure if I can get the questions back. And unfortunately can't hear from where I am. What? No. I guess. And so it's a good idea to copy your questions so you can paste them again without having to type them again, because I'll probably miss your questions several times. Hello, Love Mithro. All right, we've got a lot of the regulars in here. I don't know. Seems like a lot of the regulars are free whenever I go live. Don't you people have lives? My God. Peace, chat room. But at any rate, especially when I go live on this channel, it tends to happen right away. So, you got something? Go with it. Can you please talk about taking magical breaks? Necessary, helpful, useless? Got to take breaks all the time. I can't, you know, magic's, you know, there's always something going on. I'm always doing something. Maybe not in the manner that a lot of the other witches are doing it, because I've been doing it a long time. I dispense with a lot of the formalities, but always doing magic. But sometimes it's a necessary process. The old magicians spoke of a thing called the dark night of the soul, and it's huge. You might want to look that up. A time that old mages talked about all the time. There were certain times on their path when the gods no longer listened, they no longer answered, they no longer spoke, the magic wouldn't work. The dark night of the soul, and this was a cycle. This was a part of an initiation cycle. You know, for us to be on a natural cycle, we should have times of up and times of down. Times we're on top of the world, times when the world's on top of us. That's natural. If the world's on top of us for too long, that's not, but very much in those times, the dark night of the soul type of thing, less extreme in Wiccan circles, but it still happens. Still part of the cycle. Yeah, a lot of people take magical breaks, take a break from it for a while. You know, especially when you find yourself in a time period when everything's not working. Well, you don't want to keep doing magic and fuck up your life further, right? What do you think of glass candle terms? Okay, your question faded, but I know the question well, and I've been doing this so much with all the new witches. It's just like I just catch the first sentence and I already know your question. And people are not that original. People ask the same questions. It's pretty common. So that, what do I think about a glass candle turning black? I think that you need to take, this is one of those times that we need to take half of what our ancestors taught us and throw it out the window because it no longer applies to our world anymore. Back in the day when it meant something, if a glass candle turned black, there were standards for wax, and 7-day glass candles burned for 7 days. They don't these days. It depends on what candle you got. 7-day candles were made of a type of wax called liquid paraffin. It's a great candle for dressing because it's really easy to stick holes in it, kind of a soft wax. And liquid paraffin tended to burn clean unless acted on by exterior forces. These standards have gone from the world. They're not so much anymore. You know, there's soy wax and there's all kinds of different waxes. I mean, soy wax is actually pretty clean. It's pretty good. But there's so many different types of wax out there in the glass candles. And if you're going to the dollar store or something, or Walmart, you're definitely not getting liquid paraffin. You're getting the cheapest wax known to man, and it will not burn clean. Furthermore, if you're dressing your candles, which a lot of the people that are using 7-day candles are dressing their candles, if you use too many herbs, there's going to be soot. It's going to turn the glass black. If the oils you were putting in there weren't pure enough, you're going to turn the glass black. Even really good essential oils in a candle, too much of them, can still cause soot and turn the candle black. If you haven't seen my video and you're still using glitter in your candles, I just bitch slapped you through the internet. That's stupid. Glitter's made of plastic and sometimes a lead foil too sometimes. In all cases, glitter, when it's burning, becomes toxic, and when it gets down to the bottom of your candle, it releases a nice black toxic cloud into your room, and little pieces of floating soot floating around the world. Yeah, Jay Moore, it's really popular. I don't understand it. Glitter in the candles, and the one person that ever answered my question about that said it's to reflect your intention back on you. And I went, I don't know if I want that. That doesn't sound very good. I don't want my intention reflected back on me. I want it to go out in the world and do shit. Well, my candle is spelled to do some shit. No, glitter. No, it's toxic. It's toxic, and it's going to turn the candles black. Uncle Birch, cake glitter. My idea. You can have it. Cake glitter. They even make cake glitter in metallics, gold, silver, copper. They have cake glitter in all colors you could ever want, and it's just colored sugar. It's just going to sweeten your spell. It's not going to be toxic when it burns. When it burns, it's going to kind of smell like caramel. So I'll give you one there. So basically, all that stuff that we were taught about what, it being a sign if your candle turns black, there's a hex against you, or the spell didn't work, that kind of, no, not anymore, man. That's obsolete. We don't live in a world of standards for occult products anymore. And a lot of shit's made in China out of the cheapest shit they can get. Hide sigils or burning sigils after charging. Most typically burning sigils is the way to go. There's seemingly countless magics using the idea that Uncle Birch likes to call nature abhors a vacuum. With sigil magic and with many magics, we spend a lot of time creating an image that we're working on magically here. When we do that in a magical space, like in a circle, we've created an ethereal counterpart on one of the astral planes. The spirit of that idea, if you will, exists up here. We, at the end of the spell, typically want to destroy the physical components of the spell, because nature abhors a vacuum. She can't, if you take something out of that hole, she has to move to put something back there. And it is our hopes that since we did it magically, she's going to put our desire there rather than give us back the sigil that we burnt. And if she does, then we screwed the spell up. We need to work a little harder. That idea, absolutely sigil magic. We worked hard, we created the ethereal counterpart. She needs to make something exist here that corresponds to what exists up here, and we can't destroy what exists up here after we created it. So she has to move to put something there, and it is our hope that it is in accordance with our will, the thing that she puts there. And that's, most typical sigil magic. But if you go on this channel here, I have one called To Hide a Sigil in Plain Sight. And that's different kind of sigil. You can burn it each time that you use that sigil, but the parent sigil exists on the internet and will never go away. And it's, there's a whole video about the creation here. Thousands of viewers, thousands of people have used it in magic, and thousands of people have seen it. And that particular sigil was created to draw power off of everybody that observed it. Before we moved back here to Los Angeles, I remember somebody sent me pictures where they took a magic marker and drew the sigil on a bunch of pieces of paper and stuck them on freeway entrance signs at the 405 freeway. Now, the 405 freeway, those of you that don't know, in LA is the most fucked up freeway that ever existed, and everybody that's on it or getting on it is very pissed off. Now, this sigil is created to convert any energy that's thrown at it, any energy that's put on it, into making money. It's a money magnet sigil. So all of the angst and the anger and the road rage of the people entering the 405 freeway that saw that thing gave energy to that sigil. Go watch the video. There's better stories of some of the places I put it in plain sight and creative ways of doing that. And then when you go and watch that, you will have just made the sigil even more powerful. So that kind of thing. Let's see, should I use a wand or dagger for the Watcher's Elementals? Thinker Circle casting. Yeah. In my day, that was very specific. The Athame, the blade, is a tool of force and sometimes a weapon in the ethereal plane. It's made to carve our ritual space into existence. When we call the elements and the elementals, we nicely tell them, you come here, you stand there. Nicely. But we tell the elements and the elementals what to do. Not so much the Watchers. The Watchers come when they're called and they leave whenever the fuck they want to, and especially if they're bored or if you don't really mean what you're saying, and they will not add their influence to your spell. But the general quarters, the elements, the elementals, these are more forms that we manipulate. It's like, we don't ask the water to come out of the sink when we turn, or the faucet when we turn it on. We don't ask the fire to come out of the barbecue when we turn it on. We like the fucking thing. We manipulate these elements. That's humans. That's what we do. The wand, however, was different. Now, so many things in the craft, we were taught just these little tiny rules, and then these little tiny rules apply to a billion different places. Now, the right hand was the hand of projection, the active, if you will, and the left hand, reception, the receptive hand, if you will. So the left hand was used for receiving things, and the right hand was used for sending things. The casting of the circle, we're sending the quarters to their points. We're sending the circle to where we intend it to go. The wand ends up in the left hand. And since it's in the left hand, its use is implied by the hands. And then in this, we're going to find ourselves using right hand, left hand for different things, but the usage is implied. And so since the tool goes in that hand, the usage for that tool is implied as well. The wand is for calling. The wand is for bringing. Maybe I usually do the archangels with the blade. The one might make some sense too. In typical like Wicca or in a tradition where they're calling the god and goddess, that kind of thing. Oh my God! It reached the. Yeah. That's okay. I think people are used to you chiming in. Clown to the right of me. You're by Robin.
Well, I try to make the chime-ins relevant.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we're talking about the sunglasses over there and shit.
That was a really
yeah,
good
that was big. Anyway, so typically the wand would be for calling the god and the goddess. You always ask them. You ask them nicely to come, and they come. They leave when they want. You don't tell them to leave. We tell the quarters to leave. We tell the quarters to come. God and goddess, we ask. It doesn't make sense to me to hold a blade to their throat when I'm asking them to come. So that's the traditional aspects and my philosophical aspects of why I believe what I believe about those things. And thank you. You've clearly been paying attention to our works. Person whose name I already forgot. I'm sorry. Juggalo Nation for Uncle Birch. Hey, I just saw that the Juggalo makeup blocks facial ID recognition software. I don't know. How long do we wait to redo a spell? Typically, for standard witchcraft and Wicca, our magics are going to work in lunar cycles. We have other things that we're going to do with the solar cycle, but those are going to be things that we are okay with waiting a year or 6 months to happen. But the lunar cycles, I teach my kids, you keep really good notes of your spell. You write everything down. After you finish the spell, you write your last thoughts on, how you think the spell went, how you felt, that kind of thing. Slam the book in your face drastically, telling yourself you will not look at that book again for 3 months, 3 moons. 3 moons. That's how long we want to wait before even thinking about it. Even thinking about the spell. We don't want to think about the spell. We want to, and now this is the thing, Uncle Birch always teaches that I see everything in terms of witchcraft, and every new concept that I see out there, my mind automatically goes to how can I use that in witchcraft? And I ended up being a pastoral counselor. I teach people I counsel people from their religious perspective. I love this thing. There's in couples counseling. There's a time when a couple's fighting. And they're fighting late in the night, and they get to a point where everybody's just repeating what they already said. Neither one's listening to the other one. Each time somebody opens their mouth, they're causing more damage in the relationship, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And we try and teach the couples, if one of you can just have the wherewithal to say, it's just, honey, hold on. We're really getting nowhere. I'm not hearing you anymore. You're not hearing me anymore. We're saying the same shit anymore. Can we go have coffee tomorrow and we'll sit down and talk about it? Then the couple can release it. Then they can go to sleep. If they went to sleep in the other state, they're going to subconsciously damage the relationship. And it's, the more times you do that, the more unfixable things you're going to do to your relationship, and by going to bed angry, going to bed thinking about these things. But somehow setting a date for a resolution allows that portion of the mind to let go of something that was so important that they fought till 3 a.m. about. That idea comes in to be my slam the book in your face and wait 3 months. Then we open it in 3 months and we look at it, and invariably over time we're going to look at it and go, oh, whoa, look at that shit. I don't even remember doing that spell, and I've been living it. I got that thing happened. It came. I've already spent it, but it came. These things sneak up on you when you let them go. But the process of letting them go is the most difficult of the 3 keys of magic. And there's lots of different techniques that Uncle Birch has given. And if you go look up the 3 keys of magic, I probably gave you some other techniques, and maybe you talked about that one there. But Setting yourself to I'm not going to look at that again for 3 moons. I'm going to set a date. On this full moon, I'm going to look at that. And maybe after I do another spell for another thing, I'm going to go look at this spell. The right, not exactly where I wanted it to. Maybe we can look at our notes and figure out what things we need to tweak to make that spell better the next time. And then ultimately, when it starts to, be an accurate spell that works every time, then we're going to want to put it in our grimoire later. But experimentation. So your question faded, but I think I still got that. Is there still a spell that works like Viagra? There probably is. A lot of, I'm not sure what they synthesized for Viagra and Cialis and all that. But all of our medicines are synthesized plants, where, the plant did the thing, but to get that dosage, you'd have to drink like 5 glasses of tea, like aloe bark. But the amount, an extra strength aspirin is going to be like, 10 glasses of fucking tea, man. You're sitting all right. I don't know. So, not necessarily bad, but I'm sure Viagra, whatever you say, I'm sure that's synthesized from some plants too. So, there are some plants you could probably, duplicate those things. Some of the standards, Yohimbe, Damiana, Yohimbe and Damiana together, intense. Yohimbe, very, very strong, very strong. I have partaken of the other things as an experimentation. Rather speedy. There's a lot of heart stuff going on, and Yohimbe does that. Even the precautions for Yohimbe are, people that have problems with the heart problems. Have a job come by. Wait. Oh, I got it to stay. Had a job. Okay. So, I think it's Yohimbe, B-E, not B-A-Y, whoever just asked that. Somebody would ask, I think they were saying they did a job spell, they got the job, then the job went away. Could it be black magic? It always could be black magic. I find this one to be more common than almost anything else. I have a very long memory regarding witchcraft, and I just remember a whole bunch of old shit that nobody else fucking remembers, and that's why I have a job doing this kind of thing. It worked really hard to destroy the short-term memory, but everybody once knew, and I kind of talked about this. This corresponds to the sigil magic question we had earlier, and I have a whole video for this. You can go watch it later. When you banish, you must invoke. When you banish, you must invoke. If you got your job spell, and then you're doing some banishing or cleansing work in your house, and you put good stuff back in the space that you cleansed, the bad stuff comes back. And that bad stuff could affect the job. That bad stuff could have come from somewhere else, could have been a hex, could have been, even sometimes when you find yourself bringing your own demise, making really stupid decisions that fuck up your life, that can be a hex. Hexes, even a bad hex will disrupt your sleeping pattern. And if we disrupt your REM sleep for just a week or less, we can make you lose your shit. You can go crazy, you can get depressed, and under crazy and depressed, you will then start doing things to fuck up your own life. But it was the hex that motivated that to happen. You then become, part of the cause and effect of the hex. But those are some of the most devious ones to do. Heliotrope. What do you think to use this for? I gotta say, I'm not even sure. I might carry a heliotrope. I hope I don't. I gotta stop if I do. Don't have that yet. And you said you're checking my Amazon. I haven't even gotten to that yet. My next 2 things that I'm going to add to my Amazon influencer list is herbs and roots. Then I'm going to go divination stuff. tarot, bones, pendulums, whatever you got. Just probably within the next couple of days, I'll add to my list. But for those of you who don't know, I did this thing. So everybody's always asking my my opinion on products and books and things. So I put a list where everybody can get to it. It's an Amazon influencer list, and I don't have the address here to paste it. But if you find my Uncle Birch Facebook page, I posted it on there. So find me on, anyways, you should be on my Uncle Birch Facebook page, really. I mean, sometimes I go live there. Sometimes I go live on my pages. Sometimes I go live on several new pages. You never know where I'm going to pop up. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. So this list of products, like I have my own store. My own store is very busy. I'm not trying to get more customers right now because I'm trying to catch up. I am the one brewer. Most of the stuff that's made there has to be made by me. So I have to take the orders in the order that it came. And I also brew adhering to magical timing. So it takes a while, and I'm constantly answering questions from people that have been waiting a month or two sometimes for their stuff. So in addition to what I carry, there's a whole lot of stuff out there. I've been in the professional witchcraft business for decades, and I know the good stuff. I scroll through these endless lists of occult products and books and things, and I'm like data or something. I'm flying through these. I know these products. I know they're good. I know what's good. I know what's bad. And I just make this list because those are cool products too. Since I'm the one plugging them, I get a small cut from it. It's an affiliate program, but I should get that, I think. And it originally started with finding some of my mom's books that I have been talking about here on this channel and others. Found them on Amazon. And I said, well, shit, if I'm going to plug this book and post a link to it, I'm going to post an affiliate link, because the only reason anybody knows the book existed is because Uncle Birch was babbling about it. So I get some money. But so I started this list, and it's vast. I think I did animal stuff recently because so many witches have pets. Candle making supplies recently. The list keeps getting bigger and bigger. So get on my Uncle Birch, find the address for the list. I should probably post it on a couple. I'll try and post it here too later. And just check it out. Follow the list, and then you'll know when I add new products. The majority of the stuff out there I know really well. There are some things out there that I saw that just look pretty cool. I have not owned everything on the BDSM portion of the witchwear stuff. But it's always giving ideas for Uncle Birch. Everything on that list.
Get to it.
All right, I'm Uncle Birch. We're gonna answer some questions. I'll probably do like 15 more minutes on this channel. Then I gotta pop up somewhere else too. Have you done work on everything you know? Done work on everything I know. I should probably after a while, decades and shit. It's no longer about going to your altar and burning things and waving your arms around and chanting and whatnot. It's putting yourself in the state of mind that you have been in all the million times that you've done that. It's evoking that state of mind in an instant and thinking upon a thing with a certain amount of intent and projection. When I actually go to the altar and start burning things, that's huge. The average magic that I'm doing in my day and age isn't involving most of the stuff I'm going to be teaching you, but that's the path to get there. Doing all spell work the regular way. If you were to see me doing spell work in this day and age, you probably wouldn't be able to tell I did anything. It's a certain level of concentration from a spiritual place that I've been in so many times. I evoke that feeling and that vibration that would be a circle and the quarters and all of stuff, and I just send something off out there into the universe. If I'm doing so in that, Yeah, probably. I mean, every magic that I know of, I've done. I teach magical warfare and have that often, knock on wood. You know, when you're a guy that's like me, who clearly knows witchcraft and teaches shit like magical warfare, well, less people randomly fuck with you. Do I like Manly P. Hall? There was a time when I had to sell some of the most precious books in my reference library because I had to move. I had to move a shop and a house at the same time. And I had the color Secret Teachings of All Ages. A book so big, you open the book, your hair would blow off of your forehead and it would make a whoosh sound. The most beautiful book. Some of the most incredibly rendered magics and paganisms you'll ever see. But the best is the color version. And I think I let it go for $300. Probably fetch $1,000 this day. I don't even know if it's still in print. Actually, the place where Manly P. Hall's books come from, I think it's close to, I think it's in Pasadena. Could always go there if I ever wanted to get another copy. But beautiful book. Grew up on it. Like a lot of his books, but the Secret Teachings of All Ages is the most, I would say, occult of his works, and just an incredible book. Gotta check it out. May have been another question there, but the Manly P. Hall thing. Suggestions on changing the paradigm of the conscious mind. Yeah, well, go watch my videos. Mind Control 101. Uncle Birch, back in the day, well, I started studying psychology right around the same time I started studying witchcraft, so they went hand in hand. But I was a scary and a scared little guy. My self-confidence was not...
What I call you a little guy.
Yeah, well, you don't call me a little guy, okay?
Okay.
It's like, you know, I can use the N-word because I'm 7% black. No, I can't. Oh God, I totally got through it. But scared, no confidence. Yeah, I had issues. I had probably all the baggage that a cancer ever did. I was an emotional basket case. I learned about subliminal programming and self-hypnosis and decided to reprogram myself. And back then we had very primitive technology. We had cassette tapes. And you could listen to these, and you could do like sleep teaching, and you could listen to the other ones when you're awake. You hear the ocean and stuff. You can't really hear what they're saying, but the thing is, your subconscious hears what the people are saying, and they speak down below the level of human hearing, which causes your subconscious to key into that suggestion. And change can happen, but it can take months for the change to happen. Over time, technology comes about, and we get programs for this. And unfortunately, I do not know a replacement for this program that has gone defunct. I swore by it. The neuroprogrammer. Within the neuroprogrammer, you could layer audio to expose your subconscious mind to a suggestion, 1,000 times a second. And your subconscious mind was powerful enough to pick up every suggestion. So what used to take months took days, a couple days till you saw change in your ways. But I did it the old-fashioned way. I set up a timer and an earphone to start playing in my ear in the middle of the night at a really low volume, and I just had to train myself to sleep on this side and not move. So primitive, but I did it. And one of the first things that I was trying to train myself to do, because of some of the stuff I was starting to do, I started to get into teaching witchcraft, which I was pretty good at, but then I was going to have to start doing public rituals for my tradition. That scared the fuck out of me. I needed to be a public speaker. I needed to have stage presence, and these are the suggestions that I originally programmed into myself. Clearly, you can see it worked. It worked too much. It worked so much, I'm rarely off the stage. Here I am, home my day off, broadcasting my ass to the fucking world. And I did that for years, just in recordings, and now we have the live videos. Then I got a podcast. I got a long career in radio. I have a long career as a stage musician and a busker. I would perform on the streets. I never got off the stage after doing that, and I'm constantly throwing myself out there in more forms that I can. So it seemed like it was really slow going, the reprogramming, but I guess it did enough, maybe too much. I don't know. But there's some stuff out there. There are a few apps that I'm looking at in the App Store. There is one called the Subliminator that I have right now that I like. You could just, you could program in your own suggestions or use the ones they have. And just whatever you're doing on your phone, there's somebody whispering. Marta said, but what's that whispering? I keep hearing that whispering. Oh, that's my phone. And what are they doing? Well, they're programming us to be rich. It'll take some time, but she wouldn't. She's not going to complain about that, right? But it's on the level of cassette tapes. The amount of suggestions you're exposed to in a given block of time are quite low. So I expect that particular device, take some time. What? She's gonna tell me something funny.
I got the ticket from the tech support.
Yeah.
He said everything's fine on my end, and he sent me a screenshot. That's how it's supposed to look. So it looks fine on their end. So I don't know, maybe caught up to whatever it needed to happen.
Okay.
Sorry.
Tech support. We've been doing a lot of that. Check out Marta's blog, lairofthedog.com. So we're doing tech support for it right now, but lairofthedog.com.
Yeah, he's advising me to clear the browser cache, which you already did,
Yeah, we
right?
just did that, yeah. Let's see, been listening to Xavier, and I can see the influence now. Thanks for answering my questions. Well, good. Well, which influence is that? I don't know. I influence him? Did he influence me? I've been around a bit longer. I have covertly taken a couple of his paid courses under another name. I didn't tell him. He's totally a friend of mine. I totally know. He's taken my course too. He's taken my year-a-day course. So we've kind of taught each other. But I hope there's some. He's doing ceremonial magic. I'm hoping there's things from my course that he got. I definitely always can find things in ceremonial magic to borrow for witchcraft. He just has a really good way of saying stuff in a way that I really understand it. Ceremonial magic, you used to have to wrap your head around this old mage speak that these old magicians used to speak in to figure out what the fuck they were talking about. Frater X is totally understandable. And he's edgy, and he's got production value, and he's his little cut in. And now he's got a logo. He's working on a logo right now. You'll probably see that soon. I saw one of the prototypes. But I hope we influence each other. He definitely he has influenced me to do Gumroad, and Gumroad has been an excellent venue. It's where I do all of my more volatile teachings and my serious teachings, and where I get paid. And that's all good because I spent at least 20 years not getting paid for teaching witchcraft. So I hope I've taught him some things. He's definitely taught me some things, magically and mundanely, and I definitely plan to pick his brain more because he's way better at marketing than I am. He's way better at a lot of the shit that we both have been doing for a very long time than I am, and I definitely seek his advice rather often. Frater Xavier, if you don't know, now you know. He mentions me. I mention him all the time too. But Frater Xavier, he now has a Frater Xavier Facebook page. I don't know if you know. Pretty easy to find, where he's posting his stuff. And now but we're absolutely different on this one thing. He never shows his face. It's part of the mystery school persona. It's part of his magical persona. I totally get that and understand that. Me, that's all I do sometimes. I even some of my classes, are devoid of props. I don't do PowerPoint programs or
PowerPoint's fun.
yeah, but I talk, I draw things and hold them up to the fucking camera. It's very primitive, but it works for me. That's mostly what I'm doing is showing my face and talking. He's not showing his face and talking. He has graphics and a lot of production value in his stuff, and I like that. But that's his. That works for him. This seems to work for me and seems to work for my viewers. Hello, iOS. Good afternoon. I saw that. May have been some other questions, but they just fade so quickly. Good afternoon. I can't get to them. All right. So I'm gonna do a couple more questions on this channel, and then I got to go to another channel and do some more of this stuff. I'm Uncle Birch, and I do this occasionally. I do this pretty damn often because I have 3 year-a-day courses going on. The next one starts August 1st, and I get ready by throwing myself out here and letting people ask me random questions, so I'm ready for it in class time and learning what kind of information, misinformation's out here in the world. Do I know anything about portals and how to close one you didn't open? Closing a portal that you didn't open is like closing a circle that you didn't open. Do the closing portion of the circle. Quite often I see this happen around Ouija boards. Is this what happened? That happens. People play with these fucking Ouija boards with no witchcraft knowledge, and as such they're very dangerous. And then they get scared and they close the Ouija board, stick it in a box and stick it under the bed. It ain't closed. What can you... Hold on now. What can you do when you reach the point you can't find much to learn, but you have so much to learn? Everything's repetitive. A lot of it is repetitive. A lot of it's interrelated. I in recent years started studying hoodoo. And when I went and studied hoodoo, I found that a lot of the stuff I was brought up on, witchcraft-wise, was very hoodoo. So I started studying Apollo. Apollo's still at least different. But there's always something more out there. Have you studied chaos magic? You can't have learned everything in chaos magic, dear. No, I don't think so. They're always, those coyotes, man, they're always developing some new crazy shit, or some new take on some old crazy shit, some new way to look at things. Phil Hine has always been one of the best reads in chaos magic, even though he hasn't written anything in years now. He had an entire pantheon of Star Trek deities, and his rationale was fucking incredible. So the energy that people expend on deities, the attention they give them, the stories that they tell about the deities are what give the deities their powers, and the average pagan deity has 1 or 2 stories. Star Trek characters have 5 years of data. They have an almost religion, an almost cult following of these people called Trekkies, who scrutinize everything that's said about every episode, and they give it a vast amount of energy. And they've spent 5 years, and then the repeats, and the repeats, and the movies, and the movies. And like, if he wants somebody's ass kicked, he calls Kurt. His car breaks down, he calls Scotty. Computer problems, Spock. You know, and then it ain't even the Next Generation yet, or Voyager. I mean, you think of the ways you could go with the thing. The rationale behind it is brilliant and shows us a lot. It teaches a lot on how humans create gods. We did that. They were some energy out there. We gave them these faces. We gave them these personalities. We gave a lot of them bigotry. That is human. We, you know, like the Christians gave their God jealousy. Gods aren't jealous. A God isn't jealous. They gave that. You know, I know certain African traditions that are homophobic. Their gods aren't homophobic. The people are. They impose those on the gods. Whether or not that actually affects the gods and makes the gods homophobic is another issue. But there's more, man. There's more out there. There's all kinds of ceremonial magic. There's all kinds of different witchcrafts out there. You got your hoodoos, you got your voodoos, you got your conjures, but I feel you. You know, I've often said that I was like the magical Alexander, weeping because there were no more new worlds to conquer, no more new magics. I look forward to that when I see a new magic. All right, peeps. Thank you for joining us on episode 18 of Ask Uncle Birch. I'll see you whenever I randomly decide to do this again.
It's still fucked up. They need to know exactly which path I took to get there. This
Alright.
is gonna take me.
Alright. I'm trying to exit this freaking thing. Let me get out of here. Turn it. There we go. There's my hex.